G'day, I hope everyone's well. So here I am unpacking the Rossmark 2-in-1 car battery charger jump starter. Does 12 and 24 volt. It's a 40 amp max. So I'm going to be doing voiceover for a part of this clip on account of rain. So first of all, just looking at the manual, and it's got a bit of useful information there. I'll see if I can find an online PDF for it, so you can find that in the description and have a read of everything yourself there. So the charger comes with the manual and 3 spare fuses, and it's pretty well built. It's got nice thick leads there for charging and starting. I was quite impressed by that. I thought from the pictures that I had actually seen on the web that they were a bit thinner than that, and that was a concern of mine. But once I unpacked it, I was like, oh yeah, good leads on that. The alligator clamps, however, might get bigger ones for that, because I just found that they didn't open up as far as I would have liked to. Say trying to get it onto a battery terminal, it did make it a bit, just opens just enough for a battery terminal. So taking out the fuse pot there, and I found that it already has a fuse in there, so the 3 fuses are spare fuses. So now I'm just connecting up the newer battery of the two, the good battery, on a multimeter, just to see what the charging is like on the first start of the charger. So just connecting that up there. The newer battery shows a 12.4 charger on. It's slowly climbing. Up to 14.7. .8. Wow, up to 15 volt. Steady at 15 volt.
Yeah.
And that shows that it's charging at 11 amp. I guess that has an impact of how much charge the battery already has. So, like an alternator, it's capable of going up to 40 amps.
Yeah.
But it's only going to produce what it needs to on what the battery is requiring. That's what I'd assume is happening there. You don't expect it to just be whack on a 40 amp, I expected that though. Advertiser that does 40 amp, I expect it to go 40 amp. But it's on low charge right now. Oh sorry, no, that's on maximum charge. Bring that down to, yeah, drop the voltage up as well. So on low charge it's doing 13.5 volt. And on maximum it's doing just over 15. So that is a real quick charge, that one. And if I swing that over the jump start, oh wow, it goes straight up to, it's still climbing, 16.3, 16.4, 16.5. I don't want to kill my battery though. I'll bring it back down. It's currently on, and it says it's charging now at about 5 amps. I'll put it on high charge. It brings it up to about 12 amps.
And if I bring it to jump start, it brings it up to 30 amps. Makes no difference if that's on maximum or minimum. When I put on jump start, it just automatically goes to 30 amps. And you can feel the machine, like it's vibrating. You can, not a lot, but you can feel that it's doing more. It's under load. Yeah. So now if the older battery, turn that on. It's on minimum, 12 volt. Yep, all good. And it shows it's charging at 5 amps. Same as mine. Well, that goes to 10 amps. And if I was to put that on jump start, it goes to 20 amps. So that's exactly what's happening. This is an older battery, but it's also constantly kept on charge. This is a newer battery, but it hasn't been charged for a while. So because it's requiring more charge, it is requiring more amps to charge it quicker. So that's self-maintained. Now if I leave that on now, I'm going to leave that on maximum. And it's currently charging at, you can see that we come up, there it is. So it's currently charging at about just under 10 amps there, but I think it's each line represents 2, so it's charging at about 8 amps. So I'm going to just leave that on your battery for now, for let's say 15 minutes, I guess. And we'll just see if the readings change there as the battery gets more full. And that's currently on the maximum setting. Now there is other chargers that's similar to this on eBay and Amazon that look like this, but they have different options. For instance, this one here has your maximum and minimum setting. There's one that's on eBay that's called pen pineapple apple pen. That's what I call it because it's a PPAP. And yeah, so I think it's a rip-off to this one. It looks nice and everything, but I just think it's a rip-off to the original. And there is another one that's before this that has the cable on the front and so forth. The reason why I got this is because it has a little carry pocket, so when I pack it away, it's just its own little unit. I don't have cables dangling everywhere. And what else did I see online? Oh, there was another charger online as well that, had I seen that before this, it is a Japanese charger. I think it's Japanese anyway, how the hieroglyphics looked. But it can do 6, 12 and 24 volt high and low on the amps. Doesn't have the jump start option, but had I seen that one before this one, I would have got the other one because it does 6 volt as well, and I do use 6 volt option sometimes. And it's half the price. So I probably would have gone for the other one had I seen that other one first, but I didn't see that until after I bought this. But nonetheless, I got this one for half price special anyway, so I'm not complaining. That's currently on maximum charge. Okay. Currently charging at 15.8. Alright, so testing the amps. Right now it's on high charge. It was registering 10 amps on here before. I've got the meter on here right now, and it's showing the same. It's showing at a 2 amp there, and it's showing just over 2 amps there as well, so that's correct. If I bring that down to low charge, that brings it down to almost nothing there. Now it's on a half charge. So what I thought is exactly what's happening. The more the battery is charged, the less the charger is putting into the battery. So it gets it to a point where it's not going to cook the battery. It just brings the charge up really quick. As it gets full, as it gets near its full point, it slows the process down of how much it's charging. And I'll put the other battery on that I got. It's a newer battery, and see what the readings are on that one. So the amp reading there is on my meter. It's showing 4. And on here it's showing, well, I would have read that more like a 5, but that's no real big deal really. And I've got that on maximum charge. Now if I put that over to jump start, that brings it up to just over 7. And on here it shows just over 10. So they're not exactly the right readings, but it could be something to do with my leads as well. They're getting pretty warm. Not really meant for this type of thing. So I'd say the resistance in these leads here. I'm just trying to get some focus on this. There we go. I'd say the resistance in these leads here, because they're getting pretty warm. That's where the effect is. Why the meter is slightly different to the charger, but it is showing on the meter roughly the same as what the charger is reading. I'd say if I had thicker leads, then it would probably show exactly what the charger is doing. And the charger is charging like you could see before, and I'll just do it one more time with this battery. So again, it's currently reading out. I'll turn the charger on. I'll put it on low amps to start off with. All the settings right there. On. That's on a low charge. I won't worry about getting that up. It's slowly climbing, but if I flick that over now to maximum, and now I'll flick that over to jump start, and you can hear this. You can hear the charger working there, so I'll take that back off jump start. I'm going to put that on low now, and I'm just going to leave this alone, let it charge for a few minutes, then we'll come back and have a look at the different readings on my battery. This newer one is my battery. That one's my mate's battery. I just wanted to use them for two different batteries, 2 different ages, to see what the readings are. So currently charging at 5 amps and 13.5 volt, and that's on the minimum setting. We're going to just leave it like that for a few minutes and then come back to it and see how it's going. Alright, it's been a few minutes. It's still showing that it's charging at 5 amps. It's still showing it's charging at 13.6. Just quickly put that on maximum. It's now charging at 10 amps and charging at 15.2, which I would never do that unless I was in a real hurry to get some charge in the battery to get going again. But what I want to do now is the next step. I'll void my warranty and take the cover off, and we'll have a look what's on the inside. No video of mine wouldn't be complete without pulling the whole thing apart. So, and I'm running out of time. I've got to get going, so I'll get this apart now and have a look. Not much to it, is there? And there's no smarts about it, unless this box here is the smarts, where they say that you can jump start a car straight off the battery with an ECU, so it's protected. I'd say that must be this guy here. It looks like some sort of transistor to me, but I don't really know what that part is. Okay, so easy enough to get access here to replace this and put an amp meter, a digital amp meter in here, and obviously you've got access to the wires for the 12 volt as well, so that's coming in here. So you'd go straight off here for your 12 volt, straight off here for your amp reading, change that analog display to a digital display, and that's what I'll be doing later on. Well, that's pretty much it, so I'll just put it back together now. Very happy that I got it. It's going to come in very handy. I deal with a lot of cars, and sometimes a car might sit a month, without being touched, and you get a flat battery, and it is a pain in the bum to have a small charger that you have to wait a couple of hours before you can go back and give it a go without actually taking another battery or a car to jump start from. And yeah, I would buy this again. Things I would expect them to upgrade is to put a digital display in that shows volts and amps. An option that goes 6, 12 and 24 would have been better. But for most people, 12 volt is all you're going to use. People who have trucks obviously going to use 24. It does what it's supposed to do. I did find that the amps only charges according to how much power the battery needs. So if you've got a really dead battery, it's going to charge at a higher amp. The fuller the battery, the less the amp, and that's to protect the battery from getting too hot and damaging the battery. So that's ideal. That's what you want to happen. Pretty much how an alternator works. And the amps, how it came up to 30 when I put it on jump start mode. That would probably go up to 40 if I was actually attached to a car and then crank the car over. I'd expect that to go up even higher because a higher charge, a higher amp is required while the car's cranking over. So good leads on these guys. These are really thick, and only thing I can really pick on is just the display. I would have liked a voltage reader. I wouldn't have cared if there was a voltage reading next to it that's analog as well, but show both. And this lead here would have been handy if that was longer, but then you couldn't have really put it in the cradle here without actually having a larger cradle to carry a longer lead. So I guess that's why I left that one short, because I do find it a bit challenging to get all the leads in there. But like that, the way it is going to stop them from falling out. It makes it an easy package to carry around and not have to worry about leads dangling around when you're trying to move it. So yeah. If you found this clip useful, yeah, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.